trade, and this is probably one of my most intriguing, one of my most favorited types of trades to put together. Asymmetric profit, meaning that the trade that you structure, the trade that you put together, has almost all upside and almost no downside in it. Now, that's obviously the panacea. That's what we would want in every trade, but it doesn't happen very frequently. But when it does happen, you need to be aware of it. You need to understand how to structure that. And here in this video, I'm going to show you how we're going to build some asymmetric trades where the profit is much, much greater than any potential loss. And those are called asymmetric trades. A couple of examples that I want to give you here. One of them is the American Express salad oil scandal. And if you really want a good read, you can Google that and immerse yourself in that story, because it was really the launching pad for a individual investor that would later on become known as the Oracle of Omaha, the greatest investor to ever live, Warren Buffett. This was the trade that he credits with launching his success. So the story is quite interesting. In the early 60s, there was a commodities trader named Anthony DeAngelis. And Anthony was an enterprising young man, and he understood that soybeans were a very valuable commodity, and so was salad oil. People don't understand this really about salad oil, but it's just like any other commodity. It's like soybeans, it's like wheat, it's like barley, it's like gold or silver or oil. It is like any other commodity in that it's traded in vast quantities, and there can be some tremendous leverage or tremendous profit in those commodities. Well, he honed in on salad oil. He understood that there was the ability to buy salad oil in one part of the world, ship it to another part of the world, and arbitrage that, profit immensely between the difference in prices around the world. Now, one thing that people don't really understand is that salad oil, again, being just like any other commodity, it's shipped in tankers. It's shipped in tankers just like oil is across the vast oceans of the world to different continents around the world. And so this enterprising young man, he saw that there was a profit potential in salad oil, but he didn't have the money to go finance an operation like that. And so he approached American Express, and they struck a deal. And the deal was that American Express would finance his purchases of salad oil, and then he would resell them, obviously book a profit, pay the loans back, and then the process would start all over again. Now, this process went along quite well for quite a while, until at a certain point, Anthony, being the enterprising young man that he was, figured out that salad oil floats on top of water. And so he started filling his tankers with water and then putting a thin layer of salad oil on top of it. And what would happen is American Express representatives would come to the docks, they would come to the shipping yards, they would go to the tankers, they would put a measuring device down inside of the tanker, and then they would calculate the volume of the tanker, and they would then calculate how much salad oil was in the tanker, and they would cut Anthony a check. And they never really realized that they were really just measuring 90% water. Well, this scandal went on for quite a while, and it eventually blew up. And it absolutely tanked American Express's stock. This was, at the time, in the early 60s, the largest corporate fraud case in the history of the United States. It bankrupted dozens and dozens of companies. It was a $175 million fraud, and it almost sank American Express. The stock dropped from $64 a share down to $38. Now, at that time, no one in the world was interested in American Express's stock. It was considered the worst investment in the world. And a young man at the time named Warren Buffett, who was wealthy. Let's be clear, he was a wealthy man. He was a multi-millionaire at the time. But he wasn't the man that he is today. He was not on the scale, if you will, in the world in terms of wealthy individuals. He probably had maybe $40 or $50 million to his name, which is a lot of money. It's way more money, well, a lot more money than I have, and probably most of us have, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to the wealthy individuals in the world. So he had some money, but he wasn't on the radar in terms of anybody that might potentially become the wealthiest man in the world. Well, he attributes this one trade to building his entire fortune. This one trade is what was able to launch him to success. See, he analyzed American Express at this point. At this time when nobody wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole, when the stock was absolutely getting crushed, and he said, wait a minute, this is an iconic brand. They have massive profit margins. They almost have a monopoly on what they do at the time, and they've been immensely profitable year over year over year, except for now. And he looked at this salad oil scandal and he says, you know what, this is bad. There's no question that this is bad, but this is a one-off event. This is a one-time occurrence. And they will eventually put this behind them, and the fundamentals will come back into place. And this stock will again be a cornerstone for the entire financial community. And so at the time, he took 30 or 40% of his entire net worth. Now, at the time, again, remember, he was wealthy, but he wasn't the man that he was today. Take yourself, for example, and consider taking 30 or 40% of everything that you have and rolling the dice on one particular trade. Now, Warren Buffett didn't look at it as rolling the dice because he saw the asymmetric profit potential of this trade. He basically said, listen, there is no more downside in American Express stock. All of the bad news has been baked in. It's all upside. And what was interesting with this trade was, over the next few years, he absolutely killed it in that trade. It was a 10-bagger. He made 10-fold times his money back. That one trade right there made him $300 or $400 million, and that was enough. That was enough money for him to go out and start Berkshire Hathaway and start diversification and start building his empire. So looking back on his entire life, he looks to this one single trade. And it is interesting for myself as I look at my trades. As a professional trader, as a full-time trader, I trade over 2,000 trades a year. And it is interesting at the end of the year when you're getting ready to look at your taxes, you look back at those 2,000 trades, and in many cases, 60, 70% of your entire year's gain came from 3 or 4 trades because they were asymmetric trades. And so that's what we're looking for, and that's what we obviously want to find. How can you put some money to work with very little risk